$135 billion. That is how much money Indians living abroad sent home last year, according to the World Bank. Not 135 million, billion. And that number is really the sound of something bigger. A whole generation quietly deciding that it is finally time to come home. Because more and more NRIs now say they want to settle back in India for good, pulled by family, by lifestyle, and by a tax system most of them have badly underestimated. So, the real question is how you come back without burning years of hard-earned savings, learning the lessons the painful way. In the next few minutes, I am going to give you the complete financial blueprint for moving back to India start to finish. This is NRI Lens, where we make cross-border money simple, practical, and honest. Stick with me to the end because the section on tax is the part almost everyone gets wrong. Let us start with a single assumption that trips people up. They think India is simply cheap. It is not cheap. It is different. And the gap between what you expect to spend and what you actually end up spending can be brutal if you have spent a decade earning and budgeting in the West. So, let us begin with your biggest line item, your home. As per ANAROC's Urban Property Report, a good 3-bedroom apartment runs anywhere from 1.5 to 5 crore in Mumbai, somewhat less in Bangalore, and far less in cities like Pune, Chennai or Jaipur, where the same money goes much further. Take my one firm rule here. Rent before you buy. Give yourself 6 to 12 months to test the city, the traffic, the neighborhood and the daily commute before you commit a single rupee to a purchase. And if you do decide to buy, the smartest returns buy 3 to 5 years early. They let tenants cover the loan while they are still earning in foreign currency. Let the property quietly appreciate and walk into a home that has already been paying for itself. Next comes healthcare. And this is an area where India genuinely wins. A heart procedure that touches $150,000 in the US can cost a small fraction of that at a top Indian hospital, often with the same caliber of surgeon. To get this right, buy comprehensive private cover early. Budget 50,000 to a lakh a year for it. And read the fine print on waiting periods. Because pre-existing conditions can stay locked out for 2 to 4 years. And keep 10 to 15 lakh aside as a dedicated medical emergency fund. Then, there is everyday life, where your money stretches in ways it never did abroad. You can live genuinely well on 60 to 80,000 a month, comfortably on 1 to 1.5 lakh, and in real luxury for 2 to 3. All of that aside from rent. The beauty of coming home is that you get to design your own blend. A full-time cook but no imported cereal, a modest flat but 5-star weekends. Nobody hands you a lifestyle off a shelf. You build your own. And now the part I genuinely love, because this is where coming home stops feeling like a sacrifice and starts feeling like an advantage. Recent budget changes let a real slice of your annual income sit completely tax-free, with softer capital gains, rates layered on top. There are 2 ways to put that to work. The first is the safe play. For people who want to sleep at night, you park the bulk of your money in fixed deposits and a steady set of mutual funds. Draw around 2 to 2.5 lakh a month and watch most of it land in your account tax-free. You have built yourself a money machine. The second is the growth play. You keep a small emergency buffer and put the rest into equity or any other fund with decent returns. Even at a conservative 10 to 12%, your pile keeps growing while you spend from it. And long-term gains are taxed lightly. Safe, growth, or a blend of the two. Your goals and your nerves decide which lane is yours. Of course, none of this works without the right accounts underneath it. Before you move, open both an NRE and an NRO account while you are still officially abroad. And start shifting your money across in steady tranches rather than one nervous lump sum. Then, when you finally land, do not rush to convert your NRE account into a resident one. Sit tight for a year or two. Converting too early is one of the most common and most expensive mistakes returning NRIs make. Here is what I think of as India's best kept secret. With sensible planning, your effective tax on retirement income can sit in the low single digits. Compare that with a third or even half of your income disappearing in the US. I think of one engineer who gave 15 years to California, came home, restructured everything we have just talked about, and watched his effective tax rate fall from the mid-30s to under 7%. That is not a discount. That is a completely different life. And the people who pull this off do not simply move back. They transition in 3 clean phases. 1 to 2 years out, they explore. They take long trips instead of holidays, live in different neighborhoods, and actually walk the commute. 6 to 12 months out, they prepare. They open the accounts, move the funds, lock in health cover, and build a real tax plan. Then in year 1, they land. They rent before they buy. Keep some income flowing from abroad and put as much energy into friendships and routines as they do into the spreadsheet. Because in the end, coming home was never about a plane ticket. It is about a plan. Get it right and you keep the best of both worlds. The financial security you built abroad and the family and belonging you came home for. If this helped you even a little, hit like, subscribe and send it to someone you know who is dreaming of coming home. This was NRI Lens. See you in the next one.